Hello and welcome everybody back to the Let's Get Wicked podcast where we talk about nothing but the game Villainous by Ravensburger. I'm finally getting the hang of saying that without saying Disney. I'm your host, Joker Jonesy, and I'm joined by two wonderful people. One of them is my co-host, Headmaster Ditto. We missed you last week.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had a couple things come up that needed more immediate attention, but we're all good now.
And I'm glad you're all doing good. Ditto is doing just fine. I'm glad you're here, friend. We have a very exciting topic to talk about that I know you're so ready to do.
You don't have to remind me.
No. We were also joined by another guest. When he is not doing rap songs and starring in feature-length films, he's also a slight guest on our show. This guest, his name is Will Smith. Everyone, say
It's
hello
me,
to
Will Smith, the real one for sure.
Yeah, the real Will Smith.
Uh-huh.
Will Smith, how you doing today?
I'm doing great.
You're doing great. Are you excited to talk about your newest album?
That one.
Yeah, that one.
Ooh.
Yeah, I had to do it. I had to. When you have a name like Will Smith, how can you just not make the joke?
It is all a joke.
Yeah, I know it's all a joke. Now, two housekeeping things. One of them, I'm actually going to shout out Mr. Will Smith here. All right. So for those of you who do not play the TTS mod and are like, you know what, I don't want to play the TTS mod because it doesn't have the original movers in it. It's dumb. I want to see the original movers. Well, guess what? Guess who put together some 3D models for all of the movers? Our friend Will Smith.
Yay.
You, Will Smith. Are you slow clapping yourself right now? God.
What's that?
Are you slow clapping yourself right now?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, God.
Who wouldn't?
But honestly, though, I was playing some games last night and actually a little bit today. And let me tell you, these movers really make this game stand out in TTS. So shout out to Will Smith for putting those together. Another reminder, just in case that you completely skipped last week's show, we actually have a new Discord server up for the community for Villainous. So if you want to join it, just go check the description in your podcast feed as well as the YouTube video. You will see the link to the new Discord there. Hop in. Some of the big things that we've been working on in the community that I've been seeing a lot of interaction with, which is super dope, is the custom scene. We just got lots of new tools with the custom scene, as well as just some other cool things. Talk about competitive Disney Villainous, as well as getting some stuff ready for Marvel. And also we've actually had some pretty cool topics in the off-topic section where we've just not talked about Villainous at all. Just talked about Disney and Marvel and all sorts of stuff. So, yeah. People found out what my favorite games were, favorite Disney movies, all that fun stuff. But anyway.
Yeah, if you want to bare your soul to complete strangers on the internet.
I mean, here's the thing. The people listening to the show, they don't think of us as strangers, but in reality, we're all strangers to each other. So I always have to remind myself of that because, I haven't met these people in real life. We are just talking over the power of the internet. It's weird to think
the internet's
about that.
A magical thing.
It's magical. Speaking of magical, today is the podcast within a podcast, possibly a podcast within a podcast within a podcast. We are talking about Kingdom Hearts. We are taking a little bit of a deviation turn from our typical villainous talk of competitiveness and fading and all that shenanigans. We all know you want to hear it. You all know what we have experienced with Kingdom Hearts. I brought my Kingdom Heart expert along with another Kingdom Hearts nerd. I am also one of them. I am nowhere near on the same spectrum as Ditto, but we just want to sit here and just indulge in how much we just love Kingdom Hearts. It's a very special
after having it being name dropped in about 80% of the episodes thus far, I think it's about time we gave it the.
How many of the episodes do you think we've mentioned?
Any of them involving Pete for sure, just directly.
I think every single episode we've at least mentioned him once.
It has to have been name dropped in just about every episode at this point.
Yeah, seriously. It had to happen. We had to talk about it. We have some exciting stuff to talk about that, but we'll save that stuff for the latter half of the episode. But all right, let's get down to brass tacks. Our first part of this conversation, we'll just go from there. What was our first time playing Kingdom Hearts? I'll let Ditto and Will Smith start us off, and we'll go from there.
I have a very fun story for like the tail end of this topic, so I'll save it for that. But
Okay.
I'll let him start this. By the way,
All right,
just
dude,
so
I'll
you know
start
what
it
you're
off.
into, just so you know what you're into, I'm the
Okay.
one that Ditto talks to Kingdom Hearts all the time. I'm like the default Kingdom Hearts talk for Ditto.
Really?
Yeah. So here we go.
All right. So I blame you for the
Um,
fact that Ditto's obsessed with this. Okay.
Oh, for sure, absolutely.
Okay.
it's not entirely his fault, but there is a lot of it.
I got you. Well, start us off, Ditto.
All right. So the first time, this is going to be a fun trip down memory lane. The first time I actually remember seeing about Kingdom Hearts was nearly 15 years ago now, I think.
Oh God.
Right before, because if I hadn't mentioned it before, we actually have not lived in Louisiana for all of our lives. We originally lived in Texas.
Oh wow.
And in like the couple of months before we moved over here, we got, I think, is like an early birthday slash we're moving, so this is our consolation prize gift. We got a PS2 that happened to come alongside a Pac-Man party game of some kind,
Oh, I know what you're
and
talking
Kingdom
about.
Hearts.
And the SpongeBob party game too.
Yeah, that one too. I forgot about we had that on that early.
That one was fun.
But yeah, so 15 years ago, little little Ditto coming to grips with the fact that we were about to be completely uprooted, finding solace in Kingdom Hearts of all things.
I got you.
And it just went downhill from there.
So it was like one of the first games you really just got like absorbed in, if I'm getting this.
Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah. Did you own a console before the PS2?
I think so. We had played on a GameCube that a friend of ours owned several times before that when we were just on vacations.
Okay.
Every couple years or so, we messed around with Mario Party 3. Remember that one?
Oh wow. That's not even the best Mario Party.
Nope.
No, God. Mario Party 2 is where it's at.
But I think Kingdom Hearts was really gonna the first main console game that I really got hooked on.
Interesting. That explains a lot. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Will Smith, do you want me to go since you have a nice way to end this conversation?
Yeah, you go ahead and your turn.
Okay. So my Kingdom Hearts story is a little weird. So my first Kingdom Hearts game was actually Chain of Memories on the GBA.
Excellent choice.
Yes. So the story behind that goes, so I got a GBA when I was in first grade. And and I got it for Easter. So every Easter, essentially, I always got like a new or one or two new Game Boy games. That was kind of just like the general thing for a while. And I forget when Chain of Memories originally came out, year wise, but I know I got it within that year span that it was actually released. It wasn't something I was necessarily like looking for, but I always like remember because I got the PlayStation magazine, and I always had pointed out to my dad that this game called Kingdom Hearts looked cool. And eventually, what happened was I got the Chain of Memories for GBA, and I was enjoying it, but I was like, man, it'd be really cool if I could play this on the PS2, play the original. And I remember it was like a year or two later, because at this point, Kingdom Hearts was on greatest hits and all that stuff. I had gotten a really good grade on my report card, and my dad took me to Best Buy, and he was like, "Hey, you can get one game because you did good on your report card." And I saw that Kingdom Hearts was one of the games. It was on greatest hits, and the rest was history. And Kingdom Hearts is also the first RPG I've ever played. So I've been playing games for a while, but most of the games I grew up playing were like platformers. So like Crash, Spyro, Jack and Daxter, Sly Cooper, Ratchet and Clank at this point. I had not played anything like Kingdom Hearts where it was like there was a lot of stats and math and things like that involved in upgrading. This was the first time I got into that, and let me tell you, if the stories aren't true, your first RPG is always the one that sticks with you the most.
There is absolutely no doubt about that. I am living proof.
Yeah. Now, as some people have found out, the only exception is there's this little game called, which did eventually trump Kingdom Hearts for me as one of my favorite games, but still top 10. Original Kingdom Hearts will always sit in that list. Every time I do the math every year, Kingdom Hearts holds a very special place in my heart, which we'll get into. But that was my first experience playing Kingdom Hearts. Now, it's funny though. I did not beat Chain of Memories when I first got it. I did beat it many years later. Many years later.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I forget. I did beat it on GBA too. I did not beat it on that PS2 remake, which I have yet to play still. But
Oh, it's fun. It's so much nicer.
I've been told it's good.
But I do have to ask, which fight did you get stuck on?
I'm trying to remember. Because I don't. So here's the thing. I'm not. So I've only beaten Chain of Memories once, and I remember the fights, but I don't remember what order that they take place in. I think the first one I got really stuck on was because you fight Riku, the heartless Riku in that game, right?
Like
That's one of the
5
fights?
times.
Okay, I forget. There was one of those fights I got stuck on.
That's not surprising. He's kind of
So I
tough once
remember
you get up in the
specifically
higher
when I got
floors.
stuck and I returned to the game, I actually level grinded a lot to get some extra experience and extra card slots. And then once I had better cards and more slots to play more cards, I went back to that fight and I eventually got through it pretty easy. But yeah, it was one of the Riku fights.
Up in the higher floors, he's pretty brutal.
Yeah, I don't remember which one, but I remember it was one of them. So
It was always Axel for me. I could not, pass that second fight with Axel for like the longest time.
And did you beat it on GBA?
Fast. Oh yeah, absolutely. I beat that game on GBA so many times.
All right, good. Talking to real Kingdom Hearts purists right here. I'm glad. Okay.
It's so funny.
Will Smith, finish this off.
All right. So, the first time I played Kingdom Hearts, I was probably about 5.
Oh God, that's a young.
5 or 6. I loved it. Obviously, who doesn't? That first one's just magic.
It is magic.
Because who doesn't love running around killing things with Donald Duck? I remember probably the clearest memory of that game is how awful that Tarzan world is.
Oh, you talking shit about
platforming in that game? Hey, that platforming in that game is so many times you fall and you see the hippos again. Those hippos are forever a nightmare.
Spoiler alert: the Tarzan world is my favorite world of all Kingdom Hearts, and you.
Hey man, if you love it, go for it. But gosh darn those hippos.
Okay, you're allowed to like what you like.
I don't know which one I hate more: the platforming in the Tarzan world, or the maze that is supposed to be Monstro.
Oh God,
Monstro is pretty bad too.
That was tragic.
Oh God, Monstro. Anyway, more to the story is that what's more to the story here, Will Smith?
So here's a fun little addition. After beating the first Kingdom Hearts for the first time, Ditto cried like a baby for a long time.
Oh man,
he's not wrong.
He was so upset that game was over. He cried, just bawling. And then like 3 years later or something, Kingdom Hearts 2 came out. So
no, he's not wrong. I'm pretty sure I was heartbroken over that for like a week.
Oh, it's okay. I know that feeling. That's how I was with Persona 5. I didn't know what to do with my life.
But, it's like you have so much fun with this game, and you get engrossed in it, and it just kind of becomes part of who you are. And then you get to the end, and it's like, wait, no.
Right. Especially because, like, I think my first playthrough of the game when I was a kid, because I remember, so this is the funny story with me with this was like, so you know how like on the old manual, they would say like when you purchase the game, there's like a 48-hour warranty or something dumb like that. I thought that meant we're like, that's how many hours you're allowed to play in the game. And once you play that many hours, it would like, you can no longer like get the game refunded or something like that. So I remember when I passed 6 or like 48, I was like, oh no, I can't return the game anymore. There's nothing I can do. I think I put like first playthrough, I think close to 80. I think.
That sounds about right. All I know is every
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts game I think in existence I've capped out the timer on because
Oh, really? I never
it's
done
too
that.
fun.
No.
You
Because
just
it's-
got to
I
go
remember
through
when
the
I first-
Hades Coliseum like 80,000 times.
Oh
like we
god, I
did.
love the Coliseum.
You have to go through and it's like trying to find all of the little Easter eggs and secrets and stuff that they hide in those games takes so much time and it's so fun.
I remember first time getting Ultima Weapon on my first playthrough. That is such a satisfying feeling. Like, not even the weapon itself, it's the fact of like you went through the process to take out all the mushrooms and like use the correct
Yep.
spells in the right locations and all that stuff to get the material to craft it is such a satisfying time.
And it's only gotten more satisfying as the series has progressed because it's some of these games now it's brutal.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
But
'cause I
none of them have the
know-
secret bosses.
Oh, the secret bosses are
No, none of them have the secret bosses like the first one did.
No,
Those are
that
just
the very
so great.
very first game secret bosses were
Yeah, so I know, so with me with Kingdom Hearts, because this is where we get a little weird, I know, compared to you two with my experience with the game, is that so I played Kingdom Hearts, the first one in 2005, and then I played Kingdom Hearts 2 in 2008. So both of the games are basically like 3 years or so after the games originally. And I remember that like playing Kingdom Hearts 2 was fun, but it definitely did not have the same spirit to me as Kingdom Hearts 1. And when I go back to play Kingdom Hearts 1, one of the things I've learned, and I know this is slightly a controversial opinion, is that I like the RPG mechanics in that game better than any of the others, just because, especially when you play the game multiple times, and especially with the Final Mix edition, it is very clear that you can actually craft Sora, Donald, and Goofy to be different types of styles of like play every time you go through the first game. And it doesn't really appear like that in the sequels. It becomes more of like an action, like a true action RPG. And I still dug it, but you know, and my sad truth, and I've told Ditto this, is that I played basically 2/3 the way through Kingdom Hearts 3, and I just couldn't play it anymore because I was just like, just isn't fun. Like
I
a
beat
lot
Kingdom
of the
Hearts
game is tied
3
with the
in a
mechanics to
day.
me.
I didn't sleep.
Especially that first game. But
yeah. And what's weird is the first Kingdom Hearts feels like it has the most like RPG mechanics out of all of them, but it has so little to do with the overall like lore of the series that it's almost laughable.
yeah,
The
'cause I
lore
know
of the series itself is laughable.
That's fair.
Frankly,
that's true.
convoluted, but I love it.
So I remember playing Kingdom Hearts 2, and like, why the hell is Sora and Donald and Goofy coming out of little tube chamber things? And then I beat Chain of Memories, I think like a year later or something like that. And I'm like, oh, that's why.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, that explains so much. It's just amazing how like the story itself, once you understand like all the lore of the because even though I haven't played all the games, I do know relatively of the lore of the series. It makes sense. Like it absolutely makes sense for the most part. It's just the fact that all these games, in order to piece everything together, just came out in such weird time periods and like spaces apart where you're just like, really? I now just figured this out like 4 or 5 years later. It's really bizarre.
It's cool, like it's weird, but it's also really satisfying to like, oh, that's what that meant all
I
like way
agree.
back when.
Like, I have a much greater appreciation for like Roxas and Axel after playing through like Chain of Memories and the DS game. I always screw up the
Yep.
numbers. I don't want to screw it up. Because honestly, that's like to me the pure epitome of the story of Kingdom Hearts. Right there is the whole that line of with Roxas trying to figure out who he is, as well as Axel like discovering that, who he is too, and like all the nobody stuff is really when the story picks up and becomes really meaningful, of like really kind of piecing of like. Because like with the Heartless are just kind of like, yeah, we want hearts because that makes us stronger. We're going to the darkness, all typical anime bullshit stuff. But like with the Nobodies, there's a much deeper connotation with it, compared to the Heartless. At least me personally.
No, you're right.
Yeah. But now when it comes to the Kingdom Hearts games, which one's your favorite?
Don't ask me to make that call.
I'm making you make that call.
Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2.
Putting
you on the spot, Ditto.
I gotta be different. I'm gonna say Birth by Sleep.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a weird call because Kingdom Hearts 2 is like one of the better mechanically, just game-wise. But Birth by Sleep was the unique one that had you play through basically 3 different storylines.
Yeah, that's true.
That all kind of converge on each other right at the end, and I love that.
I was gonna say I never played Birth by Sleep, but I somewhat understand the story of how it operates for the characters and such. But I know people really dig the mechanics in that game.
Oh yeah, like they tried to do. Did you play 3D at all?
I did not play the 3. No, my Kingdom Hearts game history is playing 1, Chain of Memories, 2, a little bit of 352 over something days, whatever the hell the title is. And not all of it. I think I got halfway through the game. And then I played 3, 2/3 the way through. I have not touched Birth by Sleep. I have not touched Dream Drop Distance. I have not touched
you should.
Coded.
They're
But
very
I know the
good.
stories,
Maybe
though.
not recoded. That one.
You can ignore Coded.
Yeah. Wasn't that one based
that
off
one was
like
a little
like an actual
elusive.
phone game?
Yes, as a matter of fact, it was.
Yeah. Like old
And it
school
shows.
phone. Which is weird. God, I think that they made phone games back then.
Right. But the main mechanical thing in Birth by Sleep was that all of the magic and like ability commands were represented as like cards, and you would stick them into a deck, and it would cycle through with cooldowns to let you kind of be a little more flexible with. Instead of digging through menus for 10 minutes trying to find this one particular spell, you can just, okay, it's going to be part of my loadout now. Let's just go kill everything.
Which is actually the same thing they did for Coded.
Yep.
You know, it's funny that you guys say that too. I played a little game recently. I don't know if you two have played it, but it's a little game called Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I love it. It's so good.
Oh my god, it's incredible.
It's so good.
I know. And it's funny because like I have no real attachment to the original Final Fantasy VII. The only reason why I care at all about Final Fantasy VII because Nomura directed that one and he directed Kingdom Hearts. So I was like, oh, gotta be able to enjoy this game if I enjoy the original Kingdom Hearts. And
yeah, it's like there's no wonder why Traverse Town is populated by who it is.
Yeah,
there's no surprise.
No, because honestly, that's the only reason why I like Final Fantasy VII Remake is because it actually fits the whole. I like the action RPG, but the RPG side of the action more, and that to me goes back to the original Kingdom Hearts. Where it's very, very much has more of the RPG side, but with action, where you actually kind of have to think about what you're doing rather than somewhat spamming the X button all the time. But besides, and the thing is though, is that I have learned over the years I really dig the mechanics, but as also the years have progressed too, I've also realized how much I actually enjoy the fact that you got the Final Fantasy and the Disney worlds combining. I think that's
the crossover part is the one thing that everyone remembers about the series, like bar none.
Yeah. What's your favorite world? Absolute favorite world?
Oh no.
Of all the games.
That's too hard. Hold on.
Twilight Town.
Twilight Town.
That's an easy one.
I know, because you're a Roxas fan.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. I'm biased because my favorite world, we already mentioned it. I love Tarzan. Tarzan is my favorite Disney movie, and I think they actually really represented that world very well in the original Kingdom Hearts. I am also a huge fan of Nightmare Before Christmas from the original Kingdom Hearts.
Yep.
I think those worlds were both very well done, and I can I can list all the worlds from Kingdom Hearts 1 because I honestly think I like all, even the oh god, what is it, Atlantis? As much as people complain about the
No,
controls,
we're
swimming.
not talking about that. That didn't happen. That doesn't exist.
It's hey, anything could be better than Atlantis in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah, that was pretty bad too.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was rough. That was bad. You like your mini games? You want to hit triangle and under the sea? There you go.
No.
And those horrid original songs. Yay.
Oh
Those are-
god,
Oh,
I forgot that
God.
those were original.
They're so bad. They're
Oh,
so
man.
bad.
I remember playing I was playing the HD remakes on PS4 about 2 years ago. I remember I was playing through Kingdom Hearts 2, going through Atlantis. I was like, I don't miss this at all. I am doing this to upgrade a Blizzard spell, grab this Keyblade. What else? I think you get a drive. Do you get some? You get an increase
You
in
get an
drive gauge,
upgrade,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was like,
It forces you to do it to be better, but it's just so painful.
God, it's painful.
I
It's
think
funny-
that's probably the one thing that genuinely, the past 2 or 3 times I've played through the game, I've asked someone else to do just because I don't want to do it.
Oh, really? That's rough. And so
This is coming from someone who loves this game.
No. Do you like the Winnie the Pooh sections more than that?
Yes, I love the Winnie the Pooh sections.
I adore the Winnie
They're
the Pooh.
beautiful. I love them so much.
They're well done. I'll give them that.
Yeah, they have no right to being as good as they are.
By the way, I've decided the best worlds. By the way, just so you know, my favorite world from the first game is in fact Tarzan.
Nice.
I will say that. But my favorite one overall is Tron.
Oh yes,
Yep.
Tron.
wait,
is
which one?
So
sick.
good. It's so
Which
beautiful.
one is important?
Ooh, I forgot about this.
Because there are 2 of them.
The Kingdom Hearts 2 with the motorbike and everything.
Yeah, that's the right answer.
What was it? It wasn't, I forget, because they did Tron. The Tron Legacy theme was in Dream Drop Distance.
Yep.
Okay, I was trying to
Yeah,
remember.
Tron Legacy, which is a great movie in Dream Drop Distance, and that's a good one. Not as good as Kingdom Hearts 2.
No, man, you need classic Tron. That's what you need. You need the classic Tron. You need the data disc. You need to fight the master control program. You have to do that.
It's just wonderful.
That is a kick.
It's so pretty. It's so pretty.
You know, another world that doesn't get enough love is the Pirates
Lion
world in
King?
Kingdom Hearts 2.
Pirates.
That world is so well done in Kingdom Hearts
Okay,
2.
if we're not talking about animated Disney, Pirates of the Caribbean is number 1 for me, easy. So you
mean,
can
that world-
imagine how good I felt when I saw that.
That world is just so well done because, like, I mean, I don't know how. I mean, Pirates of the Caribbean is. I really enjoy the series overall, but I always tell people the first one is like the best one, and it does such
The
a good
first one's
job.
one of the best
retelling-
movies ever.
Which one?
The first Pirates movie is one of the best movies ever. It's just
yeah.
so good.
It still holds up really well too. I don't know how recently you've seen it.
Oh, it's still great.
Recently.
Yeah.
I think At World's End is probably my favorite.
Really?
But I'm the type of person that likes watching all of the different plot threads that they've been boiling for the past few years all just coming together.
And that's why you like Birth by Sleep.
Probably why I
That's
like Birth by
Kingdom
Sleep,
Hearts.
yeah.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. God, I'm also biased because I actually really dig the Lion King Kingdom Hearts 2.
The
But that's
Lion
because
King world, I loved. I adore that world.
I'm just surprised the way that they did it personally. With the making the characters like the animals and stuff like that, rather than making them, like
Goofy
just
being a
characters
little
scaled.
turtle will never make me not laugh.
No.
It'll never not be funny.
Although, let's just be honest, everyone wants Simba as a party member. Let's just be real.
That's true.
He's got a
true.
healing herb. He does monster damage. You don't want Goofy. Screw Goofy. You don't even need party members in that game. You just need Simba. That's all you need. Speaking of party members, so You obviously got Donald and Goofy, but what is your favorite party member from all the extended party members you can have?
Jack Skellington.
Jack? I'm a big
Or
Yeah.
Jack Sparrow.
Both Jacks.
Yeah, both the Jacks are pretty
Both
classic.
the Jacks. I have to readily admit, there is nothing better. This is the only highlight of Kingdom Hearts 3 for me, is going to Toy Story and having Buzz and Woody as your partners.
I love the Toy Story world in Kingdom Hearts 3. It's
I-
so delightful.
It is the only reason why I probably played that game as long, because that was the world that I
Pirates
enjoyed the
world is
most.
also really good in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
Going around on the boat. It's really
I stopped playing at that world.
yeah. That
I-
world is tedious. I will give
No,
it that.
What happened was that I started the world, and one of the highlights of playing the Pirates world in Kingdom Hearts 2 is you got he's a pirate playing as the battle theme, which is just amazing. And when I got to that world, I asked someone else who was playing the game. I was like, "Hey, do they play He's a Pirate at all as the battle theme in this world?" And they're like, "No." And I'm like, "Well, I'm done." This
Yeah,
is it.
one thing I did notice about Kingdom Hearts 3 is unlike every other game in the series, most of the soundtrack was original.
There is almost no movie music in that game at all. Which
I was gonna
is
say the
a
only
little
one I
disappointing.
think is they use "You Got a Friend in Me" in the Toy Story.
They do.
Yeah, but I think that's it, honestly.
Yeah, that's only one. I mean, do you count "Let It Go" and the Tangled song that
No,
they use?
I no.
I like to ignore the frozen world in Kingdom Hearts 3. It's not fun.
You know what's really weird too is that didn't Frozen come out the year that Kingdom Hearts 3 got announced?
Probably. That sounds right.
I think it did. 'Cause I remember I was in college when it got released, and it was such a big deal that every freaking person was singing it. And I remember that was all because the same year I was about to go to college is when Kingdom Hearts 3 got announced. So yeah. So that means during development of Kingdom Hearts 3, they put a movie in that was ridiculously popular among little girls, for the most part, into that game. What development hell that game went through. Dear God.
But
No
you have
kidding.
to remember, they were gonna make a really fun Frozen world, and then Disney said, "Hold up, wait a minute, stop what you're doing, make it the movie instead."
Oh God, Disney.
Yeah, that was about the most disappointing thing about the whole deal is it could have been great and then it wasn't.
I mean, not to. I mean, I'm not trying to support Disney or support Disney's decisions with that, but I mean, when the game's in development for like what 6 years, Disney's like, you need to either get this thing out the door, or we're just ripping the license. It's like you gotta do something, man.
Yeah,
We don't
but they
want you-
could have done anything that wasn't what they did.
Yeah,
And I know that sounds bad, but come on.
no, I get it. I get it.
At least they did something kind of unique with the other ones.
Are you saying you don't enjoy running up the same mountain 3 times?
Oh God. God, no! Don't talk about that.
It was not good.
I do have to say though, in Kingdom Hearts 3, it's not a great intro, but like the Hercules world, like the whole set piece with that is pretty dope.
The Rock Titan fight is awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
Yeah, I think they did that one a pretty good justice because if you notice, I don't know if you have picked up with the rest of the audience, but Olympus/Olympus Coliseum is the only world in the series that has been in every single game.
Yeah, it's been in every single game. And
It's almost always the best world in the game.
it's usually one of the best represented ones for sure.
It's just got solid mechanics all the time.
It's nice that they finished it off on such a high note because that was a really good way to do it.
Yeah,
It's really funny too because it's like, okay, first Kingdom Hearts, it's really just the Coliseum, the courtyard, that sort of thing. Really, only 2 rooms. Kingdom Hearts 2, you get to go explore the underworld for a while, and that's a good time. Kingdom Hearts 3, you get to go up on Mount Olympus. I mean, it's kind of a natural progression there that's just awesome.
Can we also just shout out the fact that literally James Woods has been hosting Hades as the voiceover for the entirety of the series?
I mean,
he's been a
you
champ.
really can't replace him.
No, you can't. But just the fact that they actually gotten like, because I mean, most of the voice actors for these characters are not the original voice actors. They are like the TV show stand-ins
Oh
or
yeah,
something
definitely.
like that. But the fact that they got him all the way was pretty impressive. Although I will
It
always
shows how
laugh.
dedicated he was to the character.
No, because I think I remember correctly when I was reading the article. I think he had his daughters knew like really were into Disney, and after he did Hades, like they found out that they were going to be doing this game, and they were like the ones that convinced him to still reprise the role. I think that's what it
Yep,
was.
it sounds familiar.
Yeah, I don't. I chat or not chat. Yeah, there's a live chat right now. Comments, let me know. I would love to know if I'm wrong about that factoid, but I think that's what I read somewhere. But God, I could talk about this game. This game, it's just been Kingdom Hearts has been a game that's like, it's gone ups and downs in terms of like how much I've been engaged with it over the years, and I know you two are a lot more into it than I am, but it's just kind of crazy how like there's always these points where I'm just reminded of, like, wow, Kingdom Hearts has still meant a lot to me, and this is why, um, and to me personally, it's just the fact that it was the first RPG I played, the first really big game that I played. It has lots of cool little worlds, lots of cool little mechanics, and even like learning more about Disney and learning more about Final Fantasy while playing it. Because I got to ask you
I feel
too, like about Final Fantasy. Did you guys try to get into playing this?
not really because of playing this. I tried out a couple of them, just because tangentially related, and I figured why not. And weirdly enough, I couldn't really get into them.
Really?
Yeah, I think the one I spent the most time playing was 13. You can imagine how well that went.
Oh, I can only imagine.
I've played Final Fantasy VII exclusively because of Kingdom Hearts. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's the only reason why I have any attachment to Cloud. Sorry if I cut you off, Ditto. What were you going to say before
No
I
biggie.
jumped in?
I was it takes kind of a Disney-oriented person to enjoy this particular series, just because, like it or not, as much as they're trying not to dwell on the Disney side of it, that's kind of what it's built on.
Yeah, that's like its whole gimmick. But
You kind of got to have that sort of background to get the most out of it, but if you do, there's a lot to unpack for sure.
oh yeah, for sure. I mean, because like if we're being real, this was probably the best Disney game, like video game.
Oh, it's pretty much the only Disney video game that still exists.
Yeah, like the only one that's had like clout over the years is still being like people enjoy it, people talk about it. People talk about it. Like even like when it first was, I remember reading some of the articles like when the game first got like announced all the way back in the day. People were like, "Whoa, this Square!" Or I think yeah, because it was Square. It wasn't no, it was SquareSoft because it wasn't Square Enix yet. They were like, "SquareSoft is doing a Disney RPG," and they were like, "What?" And then like you go back and look at the reviews and like Kingdom like ridiculous, like 9.5s, all sorts of crazy stuff. And just amazing how much.
Except the only other really big Disney video game I can think of was Epic Mickey, and I mean that had hype for what, a month?
Did you actually play Epic Mickey?
Epic Mickey was fun.
I know I had it. I don't remember if I played it.
I was gonna say that was I didn't hear great things about Epic Mickey. I know Epic Mickey 2 is a complete awful fest, apparently. But I've always thought the concept of Epic Mickey was cool. Just from like the paint where like you're like painting stuff and then erasing stuff and like there's a little
It's
bit
a
of like
cool
a karma mechanic.
concept.
Yeah.
I don't
And how it's
remember
based off all the old
finishing
cartoons.
the game, but I mean I thought it was cool to look at least. But like that's the only other big Disney game really.
I mean, yeah,
Got Disney Infinity, but I mean
Yeah.
that was kind of the same way. It was relevant for all of a month or two, and then poof, gone.
Yeah. And on top of that, it didn't really end up like the last 2 years of it really weren't Disney related.
Not at all. Because I mean, it was one of those things where they were trying to cash in on a fad that had already pretty much died when it was introduced.
Yep.
So sorry guys, kind of mistimed that one a little bit.
Yeah, I actually still have all of my. I have some of the Disney stuff, but I also have all my Marvel stuff from the first wave of Marvel still.
I have a lot of those Disney Infinity
Do
figures.
you?
Oh yeah.
I my favorite one that I own is Donald Duck because for those of you who do not know, Donald Duck is my absolute favorite Disney character. So he will always remain a very special place in my heart, and that is the one I cherish the most.
I like the Spider-Man one.
Oh yeah, I actually no joke. For some of you that might have watched the live, I have the Spider-Man one sitting on my desk. It is a cool one, and those are relatively expensive now.
Oh yeah.
They're ridiculously expensive. But God, Disney video games in a nutshell, man. Kingdom Hearts, Disney
They
Infinity.
taste the cake.
And it weirds me out because we've been to Disney World several times, and like they never have any even like indication that Kingdom Hearts exists, and that's so weird to me. Like,
Yeah,
this
that
is
is
the
weird.
one video game you have that really does well, and you're not gonna capitalize on it.
It's funny too because the only time I really see Kingdom Hearts merchandise is like at Topics and GameStops. I don't
Pretty
really see it
much.
anywhere else.
I think the closest thing I've seen to like Kingdom Hearts merch or anything at Disney World is they have a couple of the manga at the Japan section of Epcot, but that's it.
All right, so
Sora was in the like 50th anniversary Disney poster.
He
Disney
was.
World
That is
poster.
true.
I did own some of the manga for Kingdom Hearts. I did.
The Kingdom Hearts 2 manga is great.
That was the first manga I actually ever owned.
I've got like the first 3 volumes on my shelf.
Oh, oh yes, we have a Kingdom Hearts fan right here, everybody. Ditto is the one. Although apparently Will Smith is also a contributor. But God, I actually don't think I own any real Kingdom Hearts merchandise. I do, however, still own the original Brady game strategy guide for the first Kingdom Hearts. That is the only thing I own that's worth any value.
I had the strategy guide for 358/2, but I don't know where it went.
Oh no. That's weird. It's weird. It's like I remember because that strategy guide is the one that I actually still used when I was playing through the remake. Because let's just pretend that Monster doesn't exist, but that part of the strategy guide that talks about Monster was very useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got like a whole map.
I'm amazed anybody took the time to try to map it out though, because
It's weird too, because in the strategy guide, they actually have like it's not 3D, but it's like 2D, but it's like in 3D model form to show like the layouts of each of the individual sections.
What got me about it is that it all looks the same, so you can't really tell what you're looking at.
Right.
But it has like the entire way that maze is designed is that it's a bunch of little concentric loops.
Oh yeah. And
So
especially
that, you think you're making progress, and then you end up back in the first room again, and you want to throw your controller across the room because this is like the 20th time you've tried that.
I'm so glad I had a strategy guide when I was playing that game. Oh, thank God. I would have just been. I've known so many people. And this is funny because like a lot of people that like I had some classes with in high school, I wasn't like friends with, but like I would talk video games about them or with them. They'd be like, yeah, we're Kingdom Hearts fans, but we never beat the original Kingdom Hearts because Monstro. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, I can see a lot of people, if they were to quit over anything, that would be one of them.
Yeah, that's rough. God. And then the thing is, over the years, I don't actually think Monstro was that bad because I've gotten to the point now where I know where to go, I know how to get there, but it did take several years of just kind of learning the rhythm to do it. But thank God they never did that again. Thank God.
No kidding.
Yeah, seriously, that was rough. But what's your favorite part about the series? What is your absolute favorite part?
I think you kind of hit on it earlier with like the lore behind the Nobodies specifically is just really intriguing for some reason, and I'm not really sure why.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like I enjoy watching these kind of, like I said, all these little plot threads all come together, and I don't know. It's just over the years, the more and more of those that they've introduced and really kind of played around with, the more of that keeps happening, and that part of the lore is just something that is really cool to just like theory craft about.
Yeah. Especially because when you don't know everything and you start getting all the bits of the story, it becomes more interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Especially after like playing like technically the first 4 games. You know, like you piece that first big portion of the puzzle together and it's actually really interesting. But you don't get it in order or it doesn't completely make sense. And then that's why I've always told people that nobodies have been the most interesting part of Kingdom Hearts to me in terms of like the actual story. I do think the story of the first game is good. It's just very like tongue in cheek, like basic.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Friends are powerful. Follow your heart.
Honestly, the thing I've come to decide is that it was kind of like with Final Fantasy, where they expected Kingdom Hearts to not get as big as it did. And so once they realized that it was going to be popular, they had to come up with this huge plot line for it, and that's why the first game has nothing to do with the rest of the series.
It is very true. Which sucks.
Because the first one is great, but it's so like stereotypical, point for point, standard stuff.
Yeah, typical character arcs, all that
even
stuff.
from like Chain of Memories onward, it really kind of developed its own flavor, and it's great.
Yeah.
It'll never not be absolutely wonderful to see Donald Duck as a wizard fighting a shirtless man with anime hair, though. That's just a highlight of anything, really.
Really? Oh my god, that's hilarious. I have to say, Donald Duck is one of my favorite party members, though, because let me tell you, in the first Kingdom Hearts game, that guy is OP. He is stupid. If you build Donald like a true mage in that game, he is the best party member, hands down. Like it's incredible how good he can be.
Absolutely. Well, to be fair, the magic in the first game was kind of just OP to begin with.
Yeah, that's true. All you need is thunder, healing, and arrow. And then you use the other spells like when you need to in certain circumstances, and you can run the whole game.
Stop is so obnoxious.
Yeah, stop is pretty good.
The fact that they gave a young child the ability to manipulate time.
Mommy, I want this toy. Or I want this event to happen again. Cast stop. No, stopga. No, I have to use the powerful spell.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotta love the Final Fantasy slap a suffix on it to make it stronger.
I know. Get a Ra and a God at the end of it, and there you go. It's instantly more powerful. Oh, what was I going to ask? Oh, here's the bit. I know Ditto and I talked about this a little bit on the 10th anniversary show, but favorite secret boss. Favorite secret boss.
That's a tough one too. I mean, honorable mentions always go to Sephiroth.
Oh yeah. Oh god.
Kingdom Hearts 1 Sephiroth is the best form of impossible.
I love it. I love that boss fight so much. The music, how difficult it is, it just all hits. Oh my god. The One Winged Angel has got to be one of the most epic game soundtrack orchestrated things of all time. Like it just
Oh, it's up there for sure.
Yeah, I think actually the fighting Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts has been more satisfying than fighting Sephiroth in anything he's ever been in.
Except for that Final Fantasy VII movie.
Spoilers!
Oh, wow, you fight Sephiroth.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you, Will.
It's great.
On a tangent there, since you brought it up, the soundtrack for this game is absolutely gorgeous.
Oh yeah, I agree. There are so many memorable songs for like even for 3, as much as I didn't like it, the music in all of these games has still been superb. Like I can't honestly name a song that I don't like. You know, all the music is fantastic.
Kingdom Hearts 2 Atlantica.
Oh no.
What's that world? What are we talking about? I don't remember if that world exists.
Right?
Yeah, I don't think that world exists at all.
But
The music, and this may just be a bit of bias because I'm a musician, but the music.
Oh no, it's actually funny because I forget the artist's name, but she also composed the music for the Mario and Luigi RPG series.
Yep.
And believe it or not, Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story has one of my absolute favorite battle themes of all time. And guess who it's composed by? The same person who did Kingdom Hearts. He does a bunch of
She's done a lot of
themes.
RPG music.
Yeah. Because I think she did some of the classic Final Fantasy stuff too. I could be wrong.
I think so.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Because I'm trying to think like the fact that Halloween Town sounds as good as it does, and like in terms of like how this is Halloween is literally this is Halloween and sounds great.
Oh yeah, it's weird because on the one hand she like arranged all these Disney songs absolutely perfectly, but on the other hand, like you listen to some of the character themes and some of the original stuff, and just I love it.
Oh no, it's great.
Traverse Town is probably one of the most calming songs
It is.
I've ever heard in my life.
Traverse Town is just one of the best hub worlds in any games. Period.
It's beautiful.
It's very relaxing. There's still lots to do, but it doesn't feel busy at the same time. It's like where it all begins. You know, it's a great starting location. You know,
It has all the little Trinity marks, teaches you everything. You see it and you're like, oh, what's that for? And then you learn later and you're like, oh, I could go see what it does at Traverse Town.
Yeah.
Like, it's just got everything.
It's cool too, because that's also how you access Merlin's hut and Pooh. So
Yep.
There's always a reason to go to Traverse. But yeah, no, I when talking about this game, just makes me realize how much I enjoy it, and I need to go back. I need to. I always go through a phase where I replay the first Kingdom Hearts. You know, every few years, just to play through it again because I just generally enjoy the game. I'll tell you this though, I don't think I will ever beat this game on proud mode. I don't think I will ever do that to myself.
It's not as bad as it looks. It's not easy by any stretch of the imagination. Don't even think about trying to do something like Sephiroth on proud mode. That's just.
I've gotten about halfway through on proud mode currently.
And when did you stop?
What's that?
When did you stop at proud mode?
Atlantica.
Oh, okay, that sounds about right.
I wonder why.
Those Ursula boss fights, man, I can only imagine.
Stupid Ursula boss fight.
Can we just tell you how bad that first one is?
I'll tell you how bad it is. I'm pretty sure my brain is like actively blocking my memories of having played through any of that at all.
Really? I love the Heartless designs in that
because
world.
All I remember about Atlantica in the first game was just frustration.
The Ursula boss fight, I just remember just being, because like that's the first one where you have to really, it's the first boss fight in the game where it forces you to actually use particular magic.
Yep.
And
they do it again, by the way. That's not the first time that shows up.
But the best time that shows up is from the best secret boss, the Phantom.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Phantom. Now Kurt Sitza will always be my favorite secret boss.
I love him. He's great.
That thing was the cause of so many rage-induced. I don't even know.
God, no. Well,
also, that Ice Titan boss fight is tough. That one's a tough one.
I wish they did all the Titans. Those Titan boss fights are pretty dope. Even though the it's funny because I think in the guidebook I have, they call the Titans the Ice Titan and the Rock Titan, but playing Villainous, they all have their names, and now I'm like, I want to say Lythos,
right?
Hydros. You know what I mean?
They will never not be Rock Titan and Ice Titan to me because of Kingdom Hearts. I didn't even know they had names until Villainous. So thanks, Kingdom Hearts.
It's one of those things where you kind of know, but you don't know that you know.
Right.
Because I guess it's just Latin.
I think I picked it up when I was doing so many Greek studies in high school.
Yeah, it's just Latin.
Yeah. But God, those boss fights. Kingdom Hearts is definitely the game that has the secret bosses of like any game. Like period. They are just.
It's very sad that secret bosses didn't come back majorly ever.
No.
Besides the first game.
Which sucks because Kingdom Hearts 2, like the Kingdom Hearts 2 combat engine really sets itself up for secret bosses, but the only one you really get in that game, at least in the original version, is Sephiroth.
If you haven't played the remix, play it. There's so many more secret bosses.
about the secret
in
boss
that
in that
game.
one.
And I love them
Yeah.
each to death.
Oh yeah, I forgot that all the because you fight all of the. I keep forgetting
All
that you fight
13 organizations.
all the organizations.
Yep, all the organization, the lingering will
Yeah.
is a fun one. The mushroom, nobodies.
Oh yeah. I forgot.
There's a lot.
You know, I think the problem that why I don't remember them as well is because in the Kingdom Hearts, all those boss fights are relatively tough, and they all have like different strategies and things you have to think about when you fight them.
Oh, they're brutal. Like if you don't go in knowing exactly what to do, you will lose.
Yeah. My thing with Kingdom Hearts 2, because I remember when I was playing through Final Mix a few years ago, because I did fight all the secret bosses except for I fought the Lingering Will, but I did not beat it. I will admit that. But all the organization members, I wanted to be tougher. Because all I remember was when I could not finish a boss fight, I would just level up like 10 levels, go back to it, and I can easily defeat it, probably no problem. Because once you get enough skills, you can kind of bulldoze those bosses. But in the first Kingdom Hearts, you could be level like 70 and still have a tough time fighting Sephiroth. You know?
Sephiroth does not care.
He's
what
like,
level you are.
You're level 99. I don't give a shit.
I mean, it's bad when the boss decides to cheat and have more health than the game itself knows how to really calculate.
No, that's true. And Chernobog's like that too, isn't he?
He is, but not to the same degree.
He doesn't move, so,
Yeah, he also doesn't teleport around 60% of the time.
Oh, no. And he doesn't have a giant meteor attack that you literally almost cannot.
Sephiroth doesn't need to be on screen.
God, he's such a... He's such a good boss fight, though. That music, though.
You have to wonder whether Sephiroth got so popular because of Final Fantasy VII or because of that Kingdom Hearts boss fight.
Oh, I guarantee you it has to be because of Kingdom Hearts. Like, no, I know Final Fantasy VII was super huge in 97, but, I mean, the final boss version of Sephiroth in that game is a giant version of him, basically like a mutated man-baby. That's what it is. In Kingdom Hearts, you see Sephiroth like you're supposed to.
Oh yeah,
and it's fantastic. He should be the final boss of Kingdom Hearts. Screw Ansem and screw Xehanort and screw all these heartless Shadow and nobody people. It's just Sephiroth all over again. You get Cloud as a party member. I think most of us be okay with it, just for the music alone. Although the final battle music in Kingdom Hearts 2 is incredible.
No joke.
That entire Xemnas fight in Kingdom Hearts 2 that's like half an hour long is just so fun.
Oh yeah. It feels epic. That's the big thing. The boss fight
feels so good
too. Yeah. Helps the music.
I love
combat's
Kingdom
good.
Hearts 2. The combat in Kingdom Hearts 2 is just so smooth. Unlike the first one.
Hey, I know it's not smooth, but it just feels right.
Oh, it's excellent, but Kingdom Hearts 2 just took it and ran.
I've never completely been able to forgive all of the skyboxes in the first game.
Oh god.
Like just blatant, not even trying remotely to hide it.
Are you saying you don't want Wonderland to be a series of cardboard boxes stacked next to each other?
I would like a little more depth to it, if at all possible.
Oh man. Yeah, hey, back in the day, you got to do what you got to do to make a game run on PS2.
Oh, without a doubt.
It's incredible stuff that those programmers had to figure out.
But I don't know if that caught me up so much, or the irking fact that they did an HD remake of it and decided to just leave it that way, if not make it worse.
Well, I mean, that's the problem with HD remakes, is that when you look at the HD remake versions of these games, you see all of issues.
It's just worse.
Yeah. I remember recently I was playing through the Sly Cooper games and on the HD ports, and because those games were natively 4x3, there's a few awkward cutscenes where like a character's specifically supposed to be like running towards like an objective, but they go off the screen. But since it's now in HD and it's widescreen,
yeah, you just see it.
They just like stop because they're supposed to be off the screen because it's normally 4x3.
Right.
There's like weird little things you pick up when you play those games. and like graphical things too. Like textures aren't always updated.
No, but
correctly.
I went into the first game's remake hoping that at the very least they would have had a render for the Wonderland maps and just used invisible walls to keep the same boundaries instead of it's literally it's a sequence of cardboard boxes that you're walking through, and it feels bad.
It feels like a SpongeBob episode. Is it?
No,
All
that's
of
what we need in
Wonderland.
Kingdom Hearts. We need SpongeBob as a world. That's what we need.
Don't give them any ideas, please.
They'll find a way.
You know they would do it.
I really wanted a Muppets World for 3.
Oh God, I love the Muppets, but I don't want Muppets.
So I wanted it so bad.
I could not do it. You can make Kermit a summon. I'd be okay. I'd be fine with that. But don't make a world. That'd just be weird. Well, before we close out this portion of the show, before we move on to the next little bit, what are your final words on Kingdom Hearts? Ditto. What is your final words on Kingdom Hearts? Let the world know.
If you haven't played it, spend some time while the quarantine is still going on this week. Go play it. Do yourself a favor. Yeah. Please.
Yeah.
It's so worth your time.
I think it's on sale on PlayStation 4.
PS4 has right now a bundle that is the entire series for like $100 or something.
Yeah.
It's so worth it. And it's all the remakes, so it's got all the bonus content and everything. Go do it. You will not regret it. It's so worth it.
I agree.
Especially if you're a fan of Villainous, if you're a fan of Disney in general, just do it.
Don't let your dreams be dreams, like I always tell people. Will Smith, what is your final thoughts on Kingdom Hearts? Let the world know.
Kingdom Hearts has influenced so much. It's great. It's a headache if you try to read into it too much, but don't worry about it. I love it. Everyone loves it. I own swords because of it. I'm an artist half because of Kingdom Hearts. It's great. Yay for Kingdom Hearts. Who doesn't love it?
I have to thank Kingdom Hearts for being my first RPG and making me actually be open-minded to RPGs and other stuff, and also make me a little bit more open-minded of Disney. I think that's something I have taken a little bit for granted over the years, especially now getting super into Villainous, is that I forgot what my appreciation was for all the Disney stuff I grew up with, and Kingdom Hearts kind of just always brings it back every time I play it. So I gotta give Kingdom Hearts a lot of credit. Plus, I think it's got one of the best action RPG mechanics, at least in the first game, of like everything, and that's why FF7 Remake is such a blast for me to play, because it just reminds me of that. Well said, friends. Now, taking a giant left turn, taking a stop at the gas station. Get your gas right now. Gas around here is $1. We're going back to Villainous. So, Ditto has a little bit of a project that he's been working on. Now, we will go into a little bit of details with it, but we're actually going to relate this into a topic that we're going to end the show on. That's kind of interesting, that I kind of figured out because I had the pleasure of playing with it. So, Ditto, go for it.
Yeah. If you've been in this old server, especially for any particular length of time, you might have heard that I was dropping teasers every now and again for a Kingdom Hearts Villainous expansion.
Yeah.
That's definitely still happening, and I'd say it's about halfway done at this point. There is definitely a lot more testing and stuff that needs to go on, but in case you were curious about that and heard it at some point, yes, it's still a thing. Yes, it's still happening. I'm really kind of waiting on Marvel to come out first, because I decided to go ahead and do like the Universal Shared Fate deck thing with this.
And let me tell you,
entire deal. And I'm just kind of waiting on Marvel to come out to see how they do it, to make sure that I do something that is not necessarily exactly the same, but at least makes sense.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of actually playing some test villains this
Yeah,
past
he got
weekend.
to be the early alpha tester for it.
Yeah, I got to test some characters, and we got a little taste of what Marvel Villainous is going to be. These I am hands down for sure thinking there's some stuff going on with the Fate deck that Ditto put together that is definitely Marvel Villainous. I mean, like even without knowing anything in terms of what's going to be in that Fate deck and how things are going to work, because we haven't seen. All we know is it's a universal Fate deck, and there's like an event deck of some sort.
Right.
We got a taste of it this weekend, and I'm very excited about it. I want to let, because I know, was it Will Smith? If you've also played a little bit too, haven't you, or have you just seen it?
I have. I watched your match, and then I also got to play and look at a couple different characters. They're fun. They're fun. They're different.
It definitely makes you think a lot different. Now I know Ditto's done some things with at least the character I play that's very unique, but it kind of, I think, plays into what I think Marvel is going to be a lot more like. It's going to be a lot more take that to your opponent.
Yeah, it's going to be very direct. I'm guessing more interfacing with your opponents with the Marvel set, and that's kind of what I tried to do here.
It's less of a race and more like a battle with the Universal Fate deck. Feels like.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like, did y'all ever watch the Speed Racer show, like the really old cartoon?
No, I have not.
It's such a good cartoon.
It's pretty good.
It's so good.
But it's this idea where, yeah, it is still a race, but you have all these traps and tricks and stuff to slip everybody up around you. And that's kind of what I'm building this to be like. Is, yeah, it still has the same sort of villainous feel, but now all of a sudden you have an option where, kind of like what I expect Marvel to be, you have a few cards in the Fate deck that are specifically bad against you, but if you happen to pull them against your opponent and stick them over there,
yeah,
just kind of get it out of the way for you.
I also have to point out the fact that, at least with the character I was playing with, my character had a direct interaction with other realms with terms of my goal. Now, I don't know if we'll get that crazy with some of the Marvel villains, but I
mean, if Hela's card that we've seen involving soul marking the opponent's cards is anything to go by, I think we'll have some sort of direct interference.
I'm actually pulling it up right now as he speaks, so I get a better reference at everything. But I definitely agree, and especially after what I played with Ditto, I think we are going to be in for a very, very, very game, which is good. I think that's incredible. I'm excited, but I think we are all in for a shock because, especially lately on the server, I think a lot more of us have been doing a lot smaller games, so like 2-person, 3-person games, and it definitely, like, Ditto, I forget which one of you said it, because I know you both said it. The speed factor of this game has definitely picked up, where it's like, how much can I halt the speed of my opponent as well as increase the speed of my objective? While when we were playing what you put together, I did not feel like speed was a factor. I actually felt like I was more trying to, like, how can I screw with your realm while also
to be fair, you had the key card from the very beginning, so
that's true. I did have a key card from the very beginning. But even then too, like, even with having that key card, I would, like, my objective required me to kind of screw with you to begin with. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It was built like that.
And they all kind of are that way to an extent. I think the most recent one is the least to do with that, but he still benefits a significant deal from it.
Yeah, he definitely does, for sure.
In my match against Ditto, my objective was so slow. It took so many turns, but I got to a point where he was 0% through his objective the whole time, just because of fate draws. It was great. It was great. He could, you get the right card, and it's beautiful.
Now, I'm curious. So I'm bringing up the event deck, or the event card, and I'm curious how that also plays in, because my assumption is that they want to bring stuff in that hurts everybody at once.
Yeah, that the way I understood it, it is meant to be kind of a weirdly cooperative gimmick in this game.
Yeah.
Like it's something that affects everybody, and so you kind of all have to work together to try to defeat it.
Yeah.
Which is really weird to think about for this game, but at the same time, I mean, it could be awesome. You never know.
Yeah, because I'm looking at because this one says Avengers Assemble, and this one is like when this event is revealed, the current villain must draw a card from the Fate deck and play it on themselves. At the start of each villain's turn, they draw a Fate card and play it on themselves. And then there is a reward. And I guess maybe this exists in the Fate deck because
That's I can't tell if it's meant to be in the Fate deck or if it's meant to be a separate pile.
I think
And like cards in the Fate deck are going to trigger events.
it looks like to me that it's an event that you play globally. And because like it says that when an event is revealed, the current Fate deck and play it
Yeah.
on themselves. So I assume it's like when a player reveals this card when they fate somebody, they do the effect. And then the rest of this is like a global thing where the first person, but then the issue is if it's global, why does it have strength? That's the thing.
So it can be beat.
Yeah, but like how do you beat it? That's the question.
Guess only time will tell on that
Yeah,
one.
I guess only time will tell. Won't speculate on that too long, but like that's the weird stuff to me is like, you know, there's definitely going to be some take that more in this game, and especially with everyone having the same fate deck, it's no longer like, all right, I'm hoping to pull an Ariel or an Alice or something like that. You know, now
Yeah,
it's
it's like, what's the most disruptive thing I can find?
right. Especially because if you're playing a multiplayer game, which I'm also assuming this game is going to be much better suited for 3 to 4 players compared to normal Disney Villainous. Because
Probably.
also, if I'm not mistaken, this game is only 4 players. 2 to 4 players. This game is not a 5 to 6 player game.
Well, that's not overly surprising.
You know,
The base game with 5 players is a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, no, it's a little much. But yeah, I think this game is going to work out to be a much better player experience just because of the fact that Universal Fate deck I think is going to really help move stuff around. But
well, it's just going to really make you think about strategy a lot more because all of a sudden you're in this situation where, okay, do I want to fate them specifically to slow them down, or do I want to try to get this card I know is coming out of the deck so that I can't be hit with it?
Yeah. Because I definitely admit in high level villainous, strategy is still there, but it is more speed and halting speed. And usually you get to a point where once you know your deck well enough, the card that you have in your hand, you basically know which optimal card to play. This game is simple enough you can figure it out. But I guarantee even though I had the card that I needed for that one villain, it was very like I still had to figure out like, all right, I need to play this card in this particular location. And then when I faded, I was like, all right, which of these 2 cards are really going to hinder your current board state most and how? Because the thing too that was nice about the way that you built some of the fate cards, some of the fate cards actually encouraged cards to be kind of on top of each other.
Oh yeah.
Which I thought was a good idea on that part. So that way it would force players to be like, oh, instead of me trying to spread the board out, do I spread the board out or do I make this character
Just
stronger, forcing you to have to defeat other villains or not villains, heroes? You know, I thought that was clever on your part, and I think they'll do very similar things here too, which I think will be clever.
No doubt. Because like when you think about it, they both have a similar thing going on where like the big message of the Avengers and Kingdom Hearts alike is kind of power in numbers almost.
Right.
So I'm interested to see exactly how similar they end up being.
And if I won't get too down the speculation rabbit hole, but based off what I think we're discussing in the new server and stuff with the Marvel stuff, I'm guessing this is going to be a very Avengers themed set. And I guarantee
there's no way it's not.
Yeah, there it is definitely what you're talking about right there is going to be a major, especially when you have all the Marvel like the different factions of Marvel heroes. Like there's definitely going to be something where it's like this character is going to get more if this type of character's here or something like that. Strengthen, literally like what you said, strength in numbers or strength in position. Something that definitely is going to be a major deal. If I do say so myself, but only time will tell. It was really awesome. Like first off, the custom is going to be kick ass. Like the character I played was super cool. I really dug it. I pretty much played the Prince John of all the characters supposedly, and it was still amazing. Somehow I won. I don't really know, but it was also cool because I found out that essentially the win condition is actually the same for multiple characters, but the way that you accomplish the win condition is different, if that makes any sense.
Yep.
Yeah, I won't go too much into detail, but it's kind of clever how Ditto put it together.
That was probably the one thing when I first started this entire project is like, okay, how can I set it up where you have all these characters all kind of fighting towards the same objective?
Yeah.
And how can I keep that fun? And I think I found a way to do it. I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm still working the kinks out, but
it was definitely clever when I played it, though. So I got to give Ditto a major.
Thank me when it's over with.
No, it's still cool.
Let's not get too ahead of ourselves.
No, that's true. It's the greatest thing of all time. Oh my god. It is really cool though. So I'm looking forward to when people can actually play the full version of this. I think it will be. I think a lot of Kingdom Hearts
I definitely am too. And I think bringing it up when I did kind of awakened a bunch of Kingdom Hearts fans on the server because I don't know. I got a lot of attention with that one teaser.
Oh yeah. I mean, let's just be honest. On a server that's basically right now almost all Disney fans. You know, you're gonna get some Kingdom Hearts people. You know, and everyone's gonna be
Without a
like,
doubt.
Who? And I also have to give you props too that with this being Kingdom Hearts, at least in the iteration I played, there's really not any Disney representation in this game.
Yeah, that's another thing that I decided pretty early on is let the Disney side of Villainous handle the Disney stuff.
Yeah.
Let's take, because Kingdom Hearts has enough uniqueness to it without all the Disney parts, especially as the series has gotten deeper into its own lore.
Yeah.
We'll see cameos here and there, but for the most part, I try to keep them more or less distinct from each other.
I do have to ask. You did put those two heroes in.
I did.
Okay. All right.
I actually put them in with a friend.
Nice. I'm happy. I'm looking forward to playing this next time we get to actually play. I'm looking forward.
Absolutely.
I think that's it. I think we Kingdom Hearts ourselves out here. We got this off our chest. The podcast within a podcast.
Let us know if you want us to do this again. I will never not be in the mood to talk about this. So
we can talk about Kingdom Hearts power.
We'll have to make it so like every so often we just have to do a Kingdom Hearts, and we'll find some way to relate it back to this. I found a really easy way to do it. Next time it might not be as easy. Maybe the next time we do it is when Ditto's got this custom ready to go.
Maybe so.
And then we can talk about all the intricacies with it and do another Kingdom Hearts deep dive. Because some of those villains, I readily admit, since not all those villains are games that I've played, I'm not as familiar with them. So it'll be interesting to kind of dive a little more deeper into those characters. Because I know one of them that you showed off to me was from. I was like, I know who this is, but I don't know the thematic side of this character.
Well, you'd know it if you saw it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if for those of you who are bigger nerds than I am, you definitely would know. Shows you how big of a fanboy I am. Now the question is, now I know you two probably are not onto this, but when are we going to have the show where we talk nothing about Persona? That's the real RPG I want to talk about.
No, let me finish Persona 5 first, and then we'll talk.
How far are you into Persona 5?
Not far at all.
You need to beat it for me, and then we can have another podcast with them.
All right, sounds good.
That is definitely a game I thought about doing. Like I would love to do a custom for, but that would be really hard to do because you have to do the Universal Fate deck, and also it'd just be really jank weird how I would have to do something. For those of you who have played Persona 5, you would understand. But
yeah, it's a little
it's a
little
out
more
there.
complicated.
Yep. Yeah, don't worry, I won't make it so you can date the teacher. That won't be implemented into the game.
Darn it.
Oh, no. Why would I do that? To be all honest, Makoto is best waifu and always will be best waifu. That's all I will say on that moment with Persona. That's actually what I'm probably gonna try to do after we finish this recording here. Is I'm gonna go I purchased Royale. I have not touched it yet, so I'm gonna go try to boot it up and see how much better it is from the original, and we'll go from there. But besides Kingdom Hearts, y'all play Persona 5. It's a great game. You get it for $20 on PSN. If you don't want to get Royale, just do it. There you go. Persona 5, podcast within a podcast about a podcast. All right. I think that's enough. Any lasting comments, friends?
Sora for Smash.
Yes, please.
Please.
I'll let you folks dream, but we're gonna get an arms here, and you all know it's gonna be Twin Tail.
That'd be great.
I will excuse them digging arms out of the shallow grave it fell into if they give me Sora.
Oh God, bless your guys' souls. If Kingdom Hearts ever comes to Switch, I think
it is.
They're
It
talking
will.
about it. It's coming.
They want to. They're working on it.
I forget. Did you tell me if there was a leak or something?
Not really a leak, but they tweeted like a while back before the DLC first dropped that they were working on optimizing Kingdom Hearts 3 for the Switch, and then the entire package would come over.
Yeah, this is a long time ago. Like before, like right as 3 came out.
They just have to optimize it
on
first.
Yeah, I mean, there must be some weird PlayStation. Well, I mean, with at least the originals, because it took them forever just to put the remake collection stuff on Xbox. So there must be some weird licensing deal with the originals that they're still probably working on, because PlayStation, as we know, is weird. As a PlayStation fanboy,
Probably.
I have to admit,
But I mean, it helps that all of the spin-offs, like by and large, were on Nintendo consoles, so they can kind of work around it. I think Birth by Sleep was the only one that wasn't, and I mean,
Birth by Sleep was the only one. Yeah, because all the spin-offs were essentially on DS, GBA, or 3DS.
So I expect it to happen. I expect it to happen probably sooner than everyone expects. And Sora will come along for Smash Bros. With it. Please.
That'd be a sick reveal, let me tell you. A lot of people
absolutely would.
That's weird to think Disney will be involved with Smash Brothers.
Like, no joke, that would probably be the one reveal that would actually cause me to cry over the series again.
Oh, God.
I cried 4 times while playing Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, that one too.
Wow. You guys are not seeing one of the things I regret in my life is that when they revealed that Crash Bandicoot was coming back at E3, I jumped out of my seat and I started bawling my eyes out. That is one moment I wish I had on video format, and I started just like screaming at the top of my lungs. It was a day right before I was moving out of the current apartment I was in, and I'm pretty sure my neighbors were like, "What the hell is going on?" That was a moment in time.
That sounds about right.
God, I talk about Crash Bandicoot for days. That's another podcast. All right. I think we're done. I think we got it all out of our system. I hope you all enjoyed us talking about Kingdom Hearts. We finally did it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope you're all happy with that. Now, granted, I have done it with the true fans, so you guys can't tell me we just half-assed this.
This is definitely not half anything.
No. This is definitely I have talked with some real fans here. They definitely know more about Kingdom Hearts than I do, and I still consider myself a big. Anyway,
well, believe me, if I had the chance, I could go for days talking about the lore of this game.
My record is 7 hours in one Kingdom Hearts conversation.
Yeah,
wow.
That's about right.
Oh my God, that'll be an episode. Jesus. But all right, friends. I think we'll wrap up the show here. Thank you, Ditto. As always, you're always wonderful co-host. Thank you, Will Smith, for taking the time out of your day for not recording a rap album.
Oh yeah.
I appreciate it.
Men in Black 4. You know,
Yeah.
I had to put it on hold for.
Yeah,
for
make sure you guys go see Will Smith's next movie. That's his plug for the day. But anyway, I hope you all enjoy the show. Make sure you go play Kingdom Hearts, also Persona 5. Until then, keep playing this awesome game and stay wicked.